Shave is very important.
I mean, even though you wear a mask, but it doesn't matter.
And then I was with this other guy, and then he pulled out his phone, and then he was like, okay, I got this really long list of good questions. I was like, oh,
whoa. Really? So the guys came prepared. Hello everyone, my name is Ping. I'm here with Joannie and Theresa.
Hey!
So today I want to talk about dating tips for men, especially after the DTB mixer event. A lot of men actually messaged me and asking, how can I do better? Can you tell me more? Today we want to share about just our experience. How can men do better when they go on first date, or just in general?
So Ping, what advice did you give them for when the guys came up to you and said, hey, how can I do better?
First, presentation, like how you dress, how you like present yourself, nice haircut, your outfit. It's your first impression of the men.
What can they do better in terms of looking at different aspects of dressing up well? Like,
definitely get a haircut. Like, haircut is important.
Shave is very important.
I mean, even though you wear a mask, but it doesn't matter. Like,
True, yeah.
Go with the principle of being neat and clean. Also represents who you are, right? How you dress and how you feel about yourself. Maybe a little business smart is good.
Yeah.
Just not too much.
Yeah, not too much.
But having a fit, healthy body what makes you dress in anything looks good.
Yeah.
Like for me, the smell is quite important. Like
the odor.
It's a part of the
So take a shower.
Yeah, before you go out, like make sure that you smell nice.
I suggest be intentional and ask interesting questions.
What do you mean interesting questions? What are some interesting questions that...
So I think you mentioned about at the mixer event, they ask interesting questions, or they ask like deeper questions. Like, can you...
Okay, so yeah, one of the guys, they kind of tell me that because time was limited, we only have 7 minutes to chat, so he just cut to the chest like, hey, I want to know about how's your walk with God, and is that okay to ask you deep questions? And for me, I think that sort of set him apart from the rest of them, because like, we are here, he wants to be intentional, he wants to know you in a deeper way, he wants to really connect with you or with things that you really care about, or with what he cares about. And I think girls, we actually feel that you are making the effort to connect with me.
Becoming prepared helps. Like when I went to my speed dating events, like a lot of the guys were just like asking very shallow questions, and then I was with this other guy, and then he pulled out his phone, and then he was like, okay, I got this really long list of good questions. I was like, oh, whoa. The question he asked me was, what do you think is the major differences between Asian style dating and American style dating, and which way do you prefer? And so that was interesting, and then so that kind of got a conversation going, and so I thought that was a good question. And he came prepared, basically.
I feel like, I mean, even on a first date, just be prepared, like what kind of question you want to ask this girl.
Yeah, exactly. So for the first date, if you're worried about like, oh, what am I going to say, just come up with a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I mean, don't be shy, just pull out the phone and be like, I have a list of questions I want to ask you.
And the girls will be like, oh, okay, you're prepared. My personal experience is that I want the guy to be more curious. From my experience, I had experiences in the past where the guy doesn't feel like he was curious about me. So like, I felt like I was the person
keep asking
questions to keep the conversation going.
Right.
So bring the question back to the girl to make sure that she also feel like you're curious about her, and then making her talk and share about herself, and not just you talking all the time, is also very important.
Yes, I totally agree about that.
Okay, that's good.
Why are you asking me these difficult questions?
I don't know. We can talk about something else. So be a good listener here is, I think it doesn't mean just that ask questions, but also be an active listener.
Active listener.
Actually listening to what she is saying, and when you pick up cues from what she's saying, you're able to ask further details about that.
You learn about what active listening from a lot of my counseling classes that I took from ministry. It's a habit that I do now. Like when I talk to people, when someone just finished what they say, you can ask them a question. You summarize in the short phrase of what they just said and repeat that to them. And then I realized this is really helpful in a relationship because you want to, like you said, keep the conversation going somewhere, adding on to the conversation.
What kind of advice would you give for them to break that nervousness and that awkwardness in the beginning?
I feel like, telling a telling a joke, or
Okay.
just have some icebreaker, activity, color and animal icebreaker. That was a
Icebreaker
good, yeah,
jokes?
yeah,
Okay.
jokes,
Okay.
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
And I think being humorous is helpful. Yes.
yeah, being funny, yeah,
Funny,
definitely,
but not
yeah,
awkward.
yeah.
What if you had some like memes or like clips saved in your phone, and then you could be, oh, have you seen this video?
Yeah,
And then-
yeah,
and then
that's
you
a
can-
good one.
I
That's a
thought that
good
would be a
one.
good
Yeah,
one. So, oh, this is
that's a
really
good
funny.
one. Yes.
You're not good at talking about jokes yourself, but maybe
At least show a
maybe
video.
you can show a video and then you can
Yes.
tell. Yeah, I
Yes,
thought that would be a
that's
good
an
one.
easy
Yeah.
Guys pay on the first date or not?
You talked about, whether the guy should pay on the first date or not, and what are your advice on that?
It's a courtesy gesture, and then be a gentleman. Doesn't matter if the day was bad or good or bad, you just pay,
Yeah, for me at least, I would not assume for the guy to
Right.
pay. Like I would always offer to pay.
Yeah.
And then if the guy says no, I got this, it's like a really, like, for me it's like, oh, very cool. Like he like insisted on paying, but. If I didn't like the date, I would insist on paying. I would, because I wouldn't want to feel like
You own
I
anything.
owe him
Yeah.
the next date.
Right.
So I think it depends. Yeah.
So
Okay,
if
so
if
for
the
you,
girl is really insistent on it,
So
don't-
guys, now you get the signal, right? Trying to pay for her side. Maybe that's why they're not interested.
But if she's letting you pay, then after offering and then you insisted, and then she's still like, okay, then thank you so much for the meal. I'll get the next one. It means she had a fun time at the date. So it's a good indicator.
Yeah.
At least for me. I don't know if it works for everybody. I don't know about you, Zach.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think for me, then I don't mind like letting the guy pay, and I also show appreciation to them. But then for my personality, I actually always be thankful. Like I don't mind people paying for me.
You're taking a girl out to like first date every dinners, and if you're trying to meet a lot of girls, then that's a lot. That's a lot of like on your pocket.
yeah,
How do you make sure that you don't break bank at the same time be a gentleman?
I feel like just boba or coffee, that's better.
That's
yeah,
like
better.
first date, go for a boba, coffee, a drink,
And then walk around the park or something.
So what do you think makes a guy attractive?
I think having some talents, like musical talents, or like.
But not everybody
being-
is musical.
I mean, artistic or
Okay.
something. It's like not just a one-dimensional man.
You could be really good at sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like running or tennis. Or it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be creative all the
Yeah.
time. It
Yeah.
could be other
Yeah.
things. I think girls do find that if you're passionate about something and if you really put hard work into that, it shows that you're a very dedicated person. And I think that kind of like,
It transfers. You're like, hey, if you like me, you'll be dedicated to.
Exactly. So I feel like it doesn't matter what the actual hobby is. It just really, it's like whether you can dedicate it to.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, or how
Yeah.
you treat that hobby.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you
So-
treating it seriously, or how much time you devote to it, or perfecting your craft?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good
Yeah,
idea.
like a discipline. It
Yeah.
shows a lot.
Yeah, something you're good at. Like,
Yeah.
So.
Or girls want to feel like they look up to something too.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
you know something that I don't.
So I heard from the mixer event that not a lot of people exchanged contacts afterwards. I was really surprised. What happened?
Did any guys actually come up to you and ask your number or ask your contact?
Oh, like one.
Only one guy.
But then he was asking a lot of different people. So he was asking
Yeah.
most people.
So one guy out of what? 16 people?
16.
Came up to you, but
Right.
Yeah.
But then I think, don't be shy asking if you're really interested.
Yeah.
and so I
Yeah.
feel like
Right.
girls are always gonna give the guys a chance if they show initiative.
Yeah,
That's another
definitely,
important
yeah.
thing. You have to show initiative. Be proactive. That's why we're talking about that.
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's important for the guy to be proactive. If they're interested, if they have an intention, then just go for it. Like
Yeah, don't be afraid. Yeah.
after you get the girl's number,
What are you gonna do with
what
the
are you,
number,
what are you
right?
gonna do about it?
Yes.
What's your advice on that thing?
I feel like a lot of guys just text, "Hey, how are you? What you been doing?" And I was like,
And the
I'm
girl
like,
will be like, you have to ask more interesting questions, huh?
yeah. But I also heard that a lot of men don't like to text a lot. So what would be a better way? Like, what's a good connection?
Well, I think you have to, in the beginning, at least send some text because that's how you actually get to know the girl more and
Right,
ask them
right.
out. Once you maybe went on a date, or maybe once you text a few times,
Yeah.
then you can say, hey, I'm not a texter, but do you mind if we call? And I think
I think so. I think talk on the phone is
if you like to talk on the phone, more than talk on the phone. Share something about you, and then ask. It's like, oh, I saw this cool video.
Because,
like,
because that way the girl feels like, hey, you're open to me. Then she would be open to you too. You know, you're doing a first step.
Yes.
Taking the first step to gesture of, hey, I want to open up myself. And I think that's a good way. If you don't know what to ask, you know, share about yourself.
That's a good one. Don't be the person that ends the conversation. And make it hard for the other person to respond.
Right. Or sometimes you can, hey, you understand what she went through, but ask a good question in return. So it's just like in person, it's the same thing when you go to text. That's what the girls are looking for. You know, they want that connection.
Hopefully this helps with the next mixer event.
Or on your
dating
dates that you're gonna be going to in the next couple of weeks. I heard there's good connections.
Again, thanks for watching DTB, and if you can continue to support DTB just by clicking like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.
Go to datethebay.com to get matched with San Francisco Bay singles.